Alliteration, repetition of initial consonant sounds in the beginning of a word. It can be subtle and it can be used across different lines. Let's start with she sells seashells by the seashore. I bought a bag of big bell peppers. All right, let's use one of our examples. Let the boy try along his bayonet blade. All right, in a thinly drawn, famishing for flesh. Now, keep in mind that poems can have multiple sound devices in a single line. Assonance, repetition of vowel sounds within a word. This can also be subtle and used across lines throughout the poem. An assonance example would be he eats sweet treats. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. And again, blue with malice like madman's flash. All the ahs there. And then let the boy try along his bayonet blade. All right, remember the similar a as in a watch green jade of the fire fade. Now we want to cover consonants, repetition of consonant sounds often at the ends of words. It can be subtle as well, and again, used across lines. Consonants. Let the boy try along the bayonet blade. Remember, it's the BL in blade here. How cool steel is keen with hunger of blood. And then line number 3, blue with the malice like madman's flash. And then thinly drawn with famishing for flesh. Again, we have the FL there. Personification. This is where we personify things that are not human. So the forest held secrets, the wind called. The sea danced with the moon, the wind played, the sea embraced, the grass beckoned, and the ocean held its breath. Symbolism. It's a figure of speech in which a person, situation, word, or object is used to represent another thing. So when we talk about symbolism in hills like white elephants, the burden, much like the decision that Jig was trying to make, is similar to white elephant, which is the meaning of useless, troublesome, or hard to get rid of. Supermarket in California, symbolism there was abundance, community, and consumerism. And how do these play in the poem and the references? Simile is a figure of speech involving the comparison of one thing to another thing of a different kind. It's used to make descriptive or more emphatic and vivid images. As white as snow, as fat as a pig, life is like a dream, as strong as an ox, as cold as ice, as quiet as a mouse. Now, metaphor is a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it is not literally applicable. A metaphor is I am a rock, life is a roller coaster, he is a pig, life is a dream, time is money, and she is an angel. Now let's talk about line breaks. Line breaks are how lines are organized and how stanza breaks impact the pacing and meaning of a poem. We're going to be using E. E. Cummings' Buffalo Bills for this. Notice the intentional line breaks here. We have silver, stallion, and Jesus. Keep in mind that the impact of these words are much more impactful than if we just used the, it, or for, etc. Now when we talk about rhythm, which is a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound, again, we're going to see a lot of this in E. E. Cummings' Buffalo Bills. Notice the rhythm here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pigeons just like that. Jesus, he was a handsome man. Notice the way that Jesus holds us in a space for just a minute before we are brought to that next line, making it more impactful. Free verse poem here. So, poetry without a consistent rhyme meter often emphasizes a natural rhythm of language, the deliberate use of line not meant for memorization, but more for reading. Again, let's notice the rhythm. The indentation of lines, the spacing between words, the arrangement of words, and again, the line breaks. You'll notice that free verse poems work well in reading as well as visually. Next, we'll talk about traditional form, predictable fixed rhyme schemes, and predictable fixed rhymes. It can create cadence and make for easier memorization, and often use full end rhymes. So, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. As two roads diverged in the yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far I could, to where it bent into the undergrowth. Notice that the rhyme scheme here is A-B, A-A-B. In images versus abstractions, abstract words leave the poem too open to interpretation. Some examples of abstractions are love, which is too vague and has too many variations. Soul, you can't touch it, it's hard to imagine. Evil, what makes something evil? And miss, what does it mean to miss someone? You'll notice that abstractions don't really show us anything. Now, image, the specific concrete image, is the basic unit of good contemporary poems. Imagery makes us feel. Like love, rose for passion, daisy for innocence, a soul. How might you explain soul? Or evil, what makes someone evil? To miss, what does it mean to miss? What does it feel like? Action is also a part of imagery. As you go through your analytical review, please make sure that you are being mindful of all these sound devices and how they apply to the poem and what you think the author's intent is. Go forth and have fun.